Hello, welcome back to the channel today. So today we'll be learning how to make this simple crop top and pencil skirt. So if this looks like what you are interested in, please continue watching. If you are stopping by for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Lillian. Please click the subscribe button and then turn on the notification bell so you get notified anytime I put out a new video. So guys, thank you so much. Also do well to follow me on Instagram, address to feed by Lillian. Thank you so much. Let's get into it.
So we're starting with basic skirts. Okay, so for the center front we are going to be placing it on fold. I'm going to come down by a few inches. So after marking out a line, I'm going to take that point as my waistline. So from that point I'm going to divide my waist circumference by 4. So my waist circumference is 28, divided by 4 is going to be 7 inch. So I'm going to mark it here. And then from that point, I'm going to come down by my waist to hip line, which is 9 inches. So I'm going to come down by 9 inches. For my hip line, I'm going to divide my hip circumference by 4, which is 40 divided by 4. I'm going to be left with 10 inches. So I'm going to mark my 10 inches here. Then I'll go ahead and then connect it. I'm not using up to my knee line, so I'm going to come down by 10 inches. So for my knee line, so for the point where my length is going to stop, I'm going to mark 8 inches. Okay, so wherever your length is going to stop, take the round circumference of that place and then mark. So like I said, I'm going to mark 8 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to come down by half inches. So some people do use 1 inch. So whatever works for you, go ahead and do that. But for me, I usually use half inch. The next thing I'm going to do is to take off 1.5 inches. Okay, that is what I'm going to use as my band. So whatever you want to use as your band, you're going to go ahead and then take that off. So remember, when you are adding your band, you are also going to add it with allowance. So you are going to also impute the allowance you are going to add your band with. Okay, so which is this. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to add my 1 inch allowance at the side. So guys, this is it. So I'm going to go ahead and then cut out. So you can also leave out a few inches at the back here for your hemming allowance. So guys, this is it. So what we are going to do before we start the front, we are going to use this pattern to trace out the back. Okay, so before we start the front, let's use this same pattern and then trace out our back pattern. Okay, so just place it like this and then trace out everything on a fresh pattern so that we can use that as our back pattern. So hope that makes sense. Okay guys, so this is it for our back pattern. So what we are going to do now is to go ahead and then add your zipper allowance. Remember, our front pattern already have our side allowance, so the only thing you are adding at the back is your zipper allowance. After doing this, what you are going to do, also take off your 1.5 inch. This is for our back pattern. We are not actually adding that. If you want to add that, you can as well add, is your choice. But for me, I'm not adding that. I'm just going to cut out. So this is it for the back pattern. This point will serve as our zipper allowance. Okay, so I'm going to set it aside. Then I'm going to bring in the front piece. Okay, so remember the point we are going to cut out as our band. So also go ahead and cut it out. Okay, because it's going to come back as our band. When you open it up, you can see our center line is very obvious, so you can as well mark it out so that you will not be confused. So guys, the next thing we are going to do, from this center line point, we are going to go out by 4 inches. Okay, ignore this mark. From your center line, go out by 4 inches. Then you're going to come over here, go add by 3.5 inch. Okay, go add by 3.5 inch. So what you are going to do, you are going to connect it together. Okay, so it just needs to be slant. Don't make it straight, or you can as well, let's do 2 inches. Sorry, let's do 2 inches. I want it actually coming to almost the middle, so it will be very slant. Okay, so use 2 instead of these 2.5 inches. So let's do 2. So we are going to ignore this. Okay, so this point I use 4 inches, and then at this point I use 2 inches. Okay, so this point is 2 inches, this point is 4 inches. So guys, I hope this makes sense. So cancel this, ignore my labeling. I labeled before, so I chose to cancel it so that it will not be confusing for us. Okay, so all you need to do is to come over here and then slash open. Okay, so this is it for the front piece, and then this is it for both the back piece. So what we are going to do now, we are going to go ahead and then cut that on our fabric. So guys, I'm starting with my back pattern. So I place it on fold, so I'm just going to cut out. That is because I want to cut out 2 pieces at the bottom. So this is it for our back pattern. So this is it for the front. Okay, so all you need to do, you don't need to place it on fold anymore. All you need to do is to pin down and then cut out. So add 1/2 inch here before cutting out. So guys, for the side we are going to also do the same thing. It's just 1 piece you are cutting out also. Just go ahead and then add your 1/2 inches allowance. Okay, so this is it for the whole piece. So we are going to cut out lengths that we are going to use for this point, and then by the side. So let's go ahead and do that. So guys, we are going to cut out flounce. So all you need to do is to get a paper. Just divide the paper into 4. What you're going to do is to mark 2 inches round. Okay, so after connecting it, the length you are going to use, you are going to go ahead and mark it. Okay, so I'm going to be using 5 inches. So I'm going to mark 5 inches and then I'll connect. This is it. So after connecting, go ahead and then mark the 5 inches round. So like I said, I'm using 5 inches. You can actually mark whatever inches you want. So guys, so this is it. So what I am going to do now, I'm going to cut out. So this is it. Remember, like I said at the beginning of this video, that I'll be needing fabric. So depending on what you want and then how much fullness you want. So what you're going to do now, you're going to go over to your fabric and then cut out as many as possible. So like I said, it depends on what you want. Okay, that will determine how many you're going to cut out. So I'll go ahead and do that and then I'll bring it back. So I went ahead to cut out. After cutting out, I went ahead to hem it down, as you can see. So I already hemmed it down also. So I actually cut out about 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what I have here is 6. So you can actually cut out as many as possible depending depending on what you want, okay, depending on the fullness you want, and then depending on the length you also want to use. That will determine how many you are going to cut out. So I'm going to set it aside first. So I'll bring in my front pattern. So I've already hemmed it down. So what we are going to do now, we are going to bring in this. Remember, like I said, I actually cut out 6 pieces of it. So I'm going to use 3 here, and then by the side I'm also going to use 3. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to arrange it. Okay, so this is 1, and then this is 2. Okay, we have 2 here, and then I'm going to add the third one. So I'm going to pin it down here. So guys, after pinning down, what you're going to do, you're going to take the side, then you are also going to pin down. Okay, so just carefully also pin it. So guys, this is it. So at the end of the day, after sewing, we are going to have this at the middle. Okay, so hope this makes sense. This is what it will look like. So as for the length of the down, you can see my length. As for the length of the down, you are going to decide what you will do with it. Okay, so if you think it's a bit too long for you, all you need to do is to kind of like pleat this. Okay, kind of like you are going to run your gather, so that you will take this up a bit. So I might likely do that because I'm seeing the way I'm seeing this length is actually a bit too long. So what we are going to do, we are going to come over to the side. We are going to do the same thing. Remember I said I actually cut out 6 pieces of this. So we are going to do the same thing to the side. So we are also going to pin down at the side, just the same way we did with that center point. So what you're going to do, you're also going to come over here. This is also my side piece. Okay, so for my side piece, I'm also going to join it at the side, right side facing the right side, and then I'm going to pin down. So I also already hemmed it down of the side, as you can see. So I'm also going to do the same thing. So guys, this is it. So all you are going to do now is to also join the side piece to this other side. Okay, so hope this is not confusing. All you need to do is to also join this side piece to this other side, then sew by the side by 1 inch, then come over here. Remember it was ½ inches which we added. Okay, then join by ½ inch, and then come over to the side here, and then join by 1 inch. So hope what I explained is clear. So that is how we are going to join it. So I'll go over to my machine and do just that, and then I'll bring it back. Welcome back guys. So I already joined, as you can see. So I already joined at this point, and then at the side I also already joined by the side. So I already also joined by the side, as you can see. So this is it for both front and back piece. Okay, so this is it. This is how it's going to be like. So as for the length, as you can see, I actually went ahead to pleat it. Okay, because it was a bit too long, and then it was not giving me the outcome I wanted. So it being too long was not giving me the outcome I wanted, so I decided to pleat. So this is what I have left that is dropping. So the dropping is actually about I think 8 inches. So that is it. So for this dropping, all you need to do now is to put them together, and then go ahead and then stitch by ½ inch. Okay, so just stitch it by ½ inch like this to the end. Do the same thing to this other one also to the end. Okay, and then go ahead and fix your band. So this is the finished look. So as you can see, the dropping I have, I actually pleat them back. Okay, so I pleat them back and then I trim off the rest and just hemmed it down, because I really didn't like the outcome when I fitted it after sewing. Okay, so you can as well do the same, or you can choose to like fit it and then watch and then just see how the droppings looks. If you really want to leave it like that, then go ahead and do that. If you don't want, you can also trim it off or pleat it in, just like I did here, and then just go ahead and hem it down, as you can see. So this is it for the skirt part. So what we are going to do now, we are just going to head over and then draft out the bodice. So let's go ahead and do that. So we are going to have our both front and back pattern in one pattern. So what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to come over here. Okay, so on your neckline, you are going to use 3 inches as your neck width. Okay, for your neck width, use 3 inches, and then for your neck depth, you are going to be using 4 inches. Like I said, that we are going to be using this pattern for the front and back pattern. Okay, so what you are going to do next, also come down by 1 inch here, as you can see. Sorry, 1.5 inch. Come down by 1.5 inch, or you can as well use 1 inch, whatever works for you. And then we are also going to connect to this point. So we'll use this as our back to cut out the back, and then this 4 inches we'll use it to cut out the front. So hope this makes sense. So after doing that, the next thing you're going to do is to divide your shoulder measurement by 2. My shoulder measurement is 14 divided by 2 is 7, so I'm going to mark it here. So after doing that, what you are going to do next, so guys, so for this particular pattern, you saw it at the beginning of this video, so it's actually a free top. So you are not going to use your chest line. So my chest line is 8, but I'm going to be making use of 11 inches. So I already added 1 to 3 inches. So whatever your chest line is, add extra 3 inches to it. So if you use 8 as your chest line, add extra 3 inches. If you use 9, add extra 3 inches. Whatever you use, add extra 3 inches. So I'm going to be making use of 11 inches. So I'm going to mark it here. I'm going to also come down by my waist to my shoulder to half length, which is 16 inches. So I'm going to mark it. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to enter our bust circumference. So whatever your bust circumference is, you are going to add extra 2 inches to it. So hope that makes sense. My bust circumference is 36. 36 divided by 4 is going to give us 9 inches. So 9 plus 2 is going to give me 11 inches. So on my bust line, I'm going to go out by 11 inches, which is this. What we are going to do for the waistline, whatever your waist circumference is, you are going to add extra 5 inches to it. So my waist circumference is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7 inches. So 7 plus 5, I'm going to be left with 12 inches. So I'm going to come over to my waistline now. I'm going to go out by 12 inches. So this is it for my 12 inches. So guys, so hope this makes sense. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and then connect like so. Okay, so remember at this point we actually marked shoulder measurement divided by 2. Okay, which is mine is 14 divided by 2, which is 7. So what we are going to do, we are going to add extra inches to it. So come over here, add extra either 2 or 3 inches, actually depends on you. So I'm just going to add 2.5 inch. Okay, so you can add 2 inches, you can add 2.5 inches, so whatever works for you. Okay, so what we are going to do, just watch carefully. So watch carefully what I'm doing, so that you do the same thing. Okay, so we are just going to carefully connect like so. So we are just going to connect it. So hope this makes sense. So after connecting, the next thing you are going to do is to come over here, use 1.5 inch as your shoulder slant. You can actually use 1 inch. Okay, so whatever works for you. So I'm going to use that as my shoulder slant, and then I'm going to go ahead and then connect like so. Okay guys, so this is it. So we are basically done with this. So all you need to do now is to add your allowance for sewing, and then on the armhole we are also going to add the allowance. So I'm adding half inch. So we are just going to cut out so that we can add whatever allowance we wish to add on our, when we are cutting out on our fabric. So I'm just going to add, you can add whatever inches you want here. You can add like 1.5 inch and then you fold, or you can add ½ inch and then just use it to hem. So regardless, whatever works for you, I'm just going to add a few inches here. So we are basically done. Okay, so this will serve as our front and back pattern. So hope this makes sense. So we are going to go ahead and then cut out. So guys, this is it. So remember, like I said, that we are using this piece as a front and back pattern. So what you are going to do now is just to cut out your back neckline. So after cutting out your back neckline, all you need to do is to add your allowance and then cut out. So we are going to be adding zippers, and then on the neckline also add ½ inch. Okay, and then on your shoulder line we're also going to add ½ inch. Okay, so after adding, all you need to do is to go ahead and then cut out. Okay guys, so this is it for the back piece. So just take off your pattern and then carefully cut out your neckline. So we are also going to use this to cut out the front. So what you are going to do, you are also going to place, remember the front piece, you place your front piece on fold, as you can see me do. So make sure you place your front piece on fold. Okay, so on your shoulder line add ½ inch. So after adding your allowance, go ahead and then cut out. So guys, this is it for the front pattern. Okay, so what you're going to do, we are going to join. What you do now is to bring in your back pattern, your back piece, and then we are going to go ahead and then join the right side facing the right side. Okay, so all you are going to do now is to go over to your machine, join at this point by ½ inch, and then by the side by 1 inch, then join also on your shoulder line by ½ inch, and then by the side by 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and do that and then I'll bring it back. This is it after sewing. So I already went ahead to sew and then iron out. So what we are going to do now, we are going to go ahead and then draft the sleeve. We are going to trace out the sleeve. So in order to do that, what we are going to do, what we are going to do, you are going to bring in your dress. Okay, so what we are going to do now, we are going to trace out one side of the sleeve. So just carefully trace it out like so. Okay, we are going to mark at least 12 or 12.5 inch. Okay, mark at least 12 or 12.5 inch. So guys, you are going to slant it. Okay, don't straighten your ruler up, just slant it. As you can see, if I straighten it up, this is what it will give me, but I think slant it by at least, so this is up to 1.5 inch. So just slant it like this, don't cut it straight. Okay, so this is it. When you're done with this point, you're going to come over here. Okay, go add by at least 5 inches. So when you go add by 5 inches, connect like so. Okay, so after connecting, just come over here like this. Okay, so when you're done, the next thing you're going to do, from this point, just come down by either 3.5 inch. Okay, come down by 3.5 inch like this. Okay, and then carefully just bring it down like this, then bring it down like so. So we are not going to leave this point straight, so come over here Okay, so measure whatever you have here, fold it into two, so this is it. And then from that point you can choose to go out by 2.5 inch, or you go out by 2 inches. So whatever you want to do, I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to connect it like this. So hope this is not confusing. So I'm going to connect it like that. So guys, as you can see, this point is actually too pointy, so I'm going to correct it. Okay, so I don't want it that pointy at that point, so I already corrected it. So all you need to do now is to add your allowance. Okay, so the only point you are adding your allowance is this point. So at this point you are going to add 1 inch. So just go ahead and then cut out. Guys, this is it. So what we are going to do now, we are going to go ahead and then cut this out on our fabric. So guys, I am going to cut out. So I folded this into 4. Okay, this is into 4 because I want to cut out the 2 pieces at a goal, and then I place this point on fold. So this is crepe, so I'm just going to go ahead and then cut out. So it's very simple. All you need to do, so whichever side that is your right side, just go ahead. So all you need to do is to go ahead, join this point by 1 inch. After doing that, just fold it, turn it, and then fix your sleeve. That's all. So as you can see, that's all. So once you sew by that 1 inch, go ahead and fix your sleeve. So I'm going to do just that, and then I'll bring it back. So guys, welcome back. So this is it. I'm done joining my sleeve, as you can see. So this is it. So guys, I'm actually going to add band to my neckline, but I won't be filming that part, okay, because I want this whole video to actually fit in one. So you can check my I have a tutorial on it on my channel, so I'll drop the link in my description box for those of us that don't know how to do that. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to share the finished look with us. So thank you so much.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. This is the finished look. So if you don't know how to add band, check the description box. I will include the link there. And then also for the zipper, I just added it a little below my neckline so that it can easily pass through my head. So thank you so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, please like, comment, and share. Thank you so much. See you next time.